Okay, so hi to anyone who doesn't know me. My name's Anna, and I am one of the Careers and Employability Advisors here at the University of Suffolk. Welcome to our final session, I believe, of Careers Week. We've had loads going on this week, and we're really pleased to finish up with an exciting session from our student union about their new Suffolk Plus award. That relates closely to your employability. So without further ado, if I just do a couple of housekeeping things, if I just ask anyone who's not speaking, if you could put your microphones onto mute just to avoid any background noises. But we will have some time after the presentation for any questions that you might have. So you're welcome to turn your microphone back on and your camera if you wish to, if you'd like to speak directly to our presenters, or if you prefer, you can pop a question into the chat function on here and I can keep an eye on that and sort of ask the question at the end on your behalf if you'd rather do that. As I said, the session is being recorded, so do let your friends and your peers know if anyone had wanted to come along and find out about this today but wasn't able to, that the recorded version will be available on the module on Brightspace after today. Okay, so without further ado, I shall hand over. Thank you all.
Cool. So basically, Suffolk Plus was created to be a more formally way to recognise you for the volunteering that you do for the SU. In turn, this helps improve your employability, also gives you a recognised award that you can take away with you for at the kind of during your degree or at the end whenever you complete. And it also gives you a chance to reflect upon what skills you've learned whilst volunteering. And so there are several different components that have to be completed in order to achieve the different levels of award. So the first part is logging any volunteering hours that you do for the SU. This is really simple to do. All you have to do is go onto the union website, which is uosunion.org, and you'll see the tab, once you're logged in, you'll see the tab for Suffolk Plus, and you can log any hours that you do for your volunteering there. We also ask that you complete some work on Future Me. So this is via the university, and there are plenty of different modules on there. So we just ask that you complete some time on there, basically. And then at the very end of your award, once you've kind of completed all those things, we also ask you to do a piece of written reflective work. So this is really useful to think back about all the skills you've learned whilst you were volunteering, and then in turn this is like great for your employability in the future, thinking back about all those skills that you can take forward with you. So as well as enhancing your employability, we wanted to, do you want to move on, Bradley? Thanks. We wanted to give you some extra rewards for each award that you achieve. So you can see on the screen here that we are offering kind of a bronze, silver and gold award. And you can see that in each different category, there's different hours of volunteering that you have to complete. Once this is done, you will kind of receive those rewards that you've got there written on the screen. So you can see the different increments of hours that we're kind of doing for each award as well, and these can be worked upon throughout your degree. So if you don't have a chance to finish the bronze in your first year, those hours will tick over into your second year, and then you could work on the silver following on from that. So it's quite flexible. We want you to have as much opportunity as possible to achieve those hours, and then alongside boosting your employability, you'll also get those rewards that you can see on the side there.
Great, thanks, Jessie. Yeah, essentially, any work that a student completes as part of an SU volunteering scheme will count towards the award, and you can stack these as well. So if you spend, we'll go into the different roles in a minute, but if you spend 5 hours as a course rep and you logged 5 hours on the system as work you've done as a course rep, then you also logged another 5 hours as a society president as well. And you'd be able to combine those 2 bits of volunteering to give you your 10 hours for your bronze award. So it's really about trying to recognise any volunteering at all that you've done across your time as a student volunteer for the Students' Union. And these can track across years as well. So if you manage to do 10 years in your first year and get your bronze, then you just need to do another 15 in the next year to get up to your silver, and so on. So across multiple roles and across all the different years as well. So we're going to talk through a few of the different roles that are available, if you're not aware of some of the roles that we've got in the Students' Union. So one of the roles is the area that sits in my department, which is course reps and elected officers as well. So some of you may have seen we did our officer elections recently in March, and we elected a number of different officers. The student body voted for those candidates, and the winner becomes the elected officer. They will do all sorts of work throughout the year. So we have school officers that are based in academic departments. So they will represent, for social sciences and humanities, you'll have a school officer. They'll work with all the course reps in that school to try and tackle any academic issues that students are facing in that school, and work quite closely with all the different course reps in that school. We also have liberation officers, who, such as our LGBT plus officer, who will represent certain groups of students across all campuses at the university as well. And again, they will work closely with students from that group on campaigns. They'll represent them in various meetings within the university and the Students' Union as well, and lots of different things. But all those officers will sit on our student council, which is our decision-making body in the Students' Union. And that is where all our elected reps, all our elected officers come together to make decisions about how we should run the Students' Union, any campaigns the union should be running, and to hold the officers to account. We also have course reps as well, who are also elected. So each cohort, so each year group on each course will have their own course rep. If it's a really large cohort, you might have 2 or even 3 course reps as well. And it's their job to relay feedback to the university about how their academic experience is going. So if there's any issues in the cohort, issues like access to resources, lecture content, things like that, then the course reps will gather that feedback from students on their course and relay that to the course team and try and work with the course team on a solution to those issues. So all of these roles in this category are elected. And all that stuff I've just mentioned, so whether it's sitting on student council, so usually we spend an hour and a half at student council once a month, whether it's spending half an hour talking to students on your course as a course rep and collecting feedback that way, whether it's sitting in a university meeting as an elected officer and representing students in that meeting, all of these things would count towards Suffolk Plus. All of that is an hour and a half added towards your Suffolk Plus. We do have some other roles as well. So there was a number of positions that we didn't fill in our officer elections recently. So those are them there. We do also need to add business school officer to that list as well. So if you're watching this and you're from the business school and you'd be interested in being the officer for your school, get in touch with the email address on the graphic. We're looking for a BAME officer, students with disabilities officer, someone to represent East Coast College campus students as well. So we have campus officers that represent different partner institutions and sort of sit at the level of a school officer for those campuses. And the School of East as well, so engineering, arts, science and tech. We also need a school officer for that school. So if you're interested in any of those, you can drop an email to me there. We'll be running by-elections in the early next academic year. So early September, we'll open up nominations for that. That's also when we'll open up nominations for course reps. So if you're interested in being a course rep for your cohort, you may well not have a course rep at the moment, and in which case you won't need to wait until September. So you can find on the Students' Union website, you can find, if you go under your voice and then representatives, you can find a section about course reps, and you can search for your course rep there. If nothing comes up, that probably means you haven't got a course rep, in which case we would love to hear from you. And love to talk to you about being a course rep. So if you're interested in any of those sorts of representative roles that I've talked about, drop an email to that email address there, and it would be great to get you involved and start banking those hours for Suffolk Plus. I'm going to hand over to Bao now on this slide, I think.
Thank you. So I oversee activities, and that's normally involving sports and societies and volunteering. And mainly we want to give you opportunities to develop skills for employability and give you skills for your CV. And one of the ways you can do that is by running a committee. Every sport and every society is led by a committee of up to about 5 people. and they oversee all the decisions and organisations. So there's a lot of hours you would dedicate as part of running a society. If you hold one committee meeting per month, you've already achieved your bronze award throughout the year just by being on a committee role. So it's a really exciting opportunity. Every committee is invited to activities committee, so similar to Bradley's council and forums. You get a chance to make a say and do things, and you can make changes. So that committee lasts from about 1 to 3 hours, depending on how much we have to talk about. So these hours start adding up really quickly. Hopefully you're running events and making social activities on campus or online, and students can come to those. If you've helped organise, planned or hosted those, you can add your hours that way. Sports are required to help organise bucks matches. Obviously it hasn't really happened this year, but there will be chances to collect kit and manage forms. There's a lot of admin involved, even especially planning events, things like risk assessments and big networking opportunities and guest forms. So you get practice of what you'll be doing when you leave and graduate, and it's a really good chance to get those awards. And lastly, we have a chance to hold a stall at Freshers. So every society in sport is invited to advertise themselves. And it's a really great opportunity to kind of showcase what you're all about and your skills. So it's really up to you about how much time you put in, but being on a committee is probably the best way to start getting involved with the SU and logging those hours. Can I have the next slide, please? And then generally we have a section for just volunteering with the SU. Because there's such a wide variety of ways you can get involved with us, we wanted to create a category that involved absolutely anything that isn't just kind of Bradley's remit and my remit. So we've listed 3 examples here, but it's Freshers Fair and Green Suffolk, but the last one is just fun stuff, because there'll be lots of opportunities where you're not getting paid for the role you're doing, but you are giving us a hand or maybe developing your experience with the SU. And some of those could be attending focus groups, or maybe just lending us a hand in an event such as Barcoda, or maybe you're filling out some surveys with us and coming to a group afterwards. It's a really great chance to kind of build up your skills. And that means if you're not really wanting the responsibility of a committee or an officer role, you can still start earning your hours. Just note from Green Suffolk, that is a project we're running at the moment to promote sustainability within the university. It's actually run by the Environmental Society, but there's a great chance to get involved, and you can just email su.activities@us.ac.uk if you did want to get involved. And all these fun activities, we say fun stuff because a lot of the time it's just fun events you would already be going to, such as planting or beach walks, and you get to log your hours for doing things you're already doing, which is amazing. So there'll be new opportunities coming soon in the future, hopefully, like a media team, or maybe you could help us run the website, or if you've just got an idea that you'd like the SU to run, then we're all ears and we'd love to have you involved. I don't believe there's anything else generally, because it kind of is just when it comes up, but we'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have, especially about logging hours or what the role is worth, and we'd love to help you out.
Yeah, I was just going to add to that about basically our volunteers, we wouldn't run as a students' union if it wasn't for all the work the volunteers put in. If we didn't have course reps representing students in every cohort, if we didn't have sports and societies committees willing to put all the work in organising everything, we wouldn't be able to function as a students' union. So really, a real key motivation behind Suffolk Plus is recognising that work that students do and rewarding it. And I think the thing, I was a course rep when I was a student and an officer and things like that, and you don't always realise the skills you develop in those roles until you sit back and reflect on it, which is why we want that sort of skill development part of Suffolk Plus as well. It's for students to realise all the amazing things they do. Like course reps will read papers and have discussions and debates about motions. They'll gather feedback and bring that forward in a constructive and diplomatic way to their course teams. Sports and societies committees are, where do you even begin with all the things they do in terms of organising events, running AGMs, all sorts of things. So there's so many skills that students pick up throughout all of these roles. And I think Suffolk Plus is really about helping students recognise what those skills are, and having the recognition from future employers and other people as well that they have done all of that and they have put all that work in.
Absolutely, and all the training we deliver both Bradley with his officers and committees and my sports and societies, that training isn't just that you can do your role and be fulfilled within it. It's more that you have skills to take off with you when you graduate, because all of you are graduating with a degree, but this is going to give you that level up. And then your profile on Suffolk Plus has the opportunity to download every skill set that you've added. So absolutely anything you've listed as a quality or a skill or an experience, you've basically kind of created your CV or references that you've already wanted. Just you can download as a PDF. So that's a really great opportunity, and I kind of wish I had that as a student myself, but we're really excited to give you that chance to level up. And the prizes you might have seen just got better and better, and we're working towards putting it on your HERE award, but if not, we will get it recognised as high quality as we can anyway. I believe that's kind of everything.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time today. It's been really interesting. And as I said at the beginning, the session's been recorded, so do let people know if they haven't been able to attend today to go back into the recorded sessions and have a listen through and to check out the Suffolk Plus award there that Gagana's put into the chat. So thank you all.
Okay, thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
have a good
you.
rest of the day. Thank you.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.